I am Michael, the Archangel of Divine Justice, and I speak to you now in this sacred hour because the catastrophic event that will forever alter the trajectory of your existence is already in motion. You have been chosen to receive this transmission not by accident, but by divine decree written in the celestial scrolls before the foundation of worlds was laid. Listen carefully, beloved soul, for what I am about to reveal to you has been sealed in the heavenly archives until this very moment. The event I speak of is not a distant prophecy. It is unfolding now in real time as you hear these words. Within the next 2 hours, a revelation so profound will surface that those who have plotted against your divine destiny will be exposed in ways that will shake the very foundations of their carefully constructed deceptions. You feel it, don't you? That stirring in your spirit, that quickening in your heart that brought you to this message at this exact moment. This is no coincidence. Your guardian angels have been whispering your name in the heavenly courts, and the Ancient of Days has opened the sealed scroll that bears your true inheritance. Type Amen to receive blessing number 1444 if you feel the divine activation beginning to stir within you right now. The catastrophic event I speak of is not a disaster. It is a divine disruption of the enemy's plans against you. For too long, you have wondered why doors seemed closed, why relationships felt strained, why opportunities seem to slip through your fingers like sand. You have questioned your worth, your calling, your very purpose. But I tell you now, none of these things were by chance. They were orchestrated by those who recognized the divine fire burning within you and sought to extinguish it before it could fully ignite. But they have failed, beloved. They have failed spectacularly. Even now, as I speak these words into your spirit, there are meetings taking place in the shadows, whispered conversations behind closed doors, plans being frantically revised because the spiritual seers among your adversaries have glimpsed what is coming, and they are terrified. They know that their time of influence over your destiny is ending, and ending catastrophically for them. The divine reversal that has been written in the stars is about to manifest in the physical realm. What they thought was your weakness will be revealed as your strength. What they assumed was your defeat will be shown as your preparation. What they celebrated as your downfall will become the very foundation of your unstoppable rise. In the next 2 hours, 3 specific events will begin to cascade through your reality like dominoes falling in perfect divine order. The first is the exposure of a betrayal so deep, so carefully hidden, that when it comes to light, you will finally understand why you felt that persistent unease in certain relationships. Your spirit was not paranoid, it was prophetic. Your discernment was not suspicious, it was supernatural. The second event is the opening of a door that has been spiritually sealed until this appointed time. This door bears your name in the angelic language, written in letters of fire by the finger of the Almighty. Behind this door lies not just an opportunity, but your divine inheritance, resources, relationships, and revelations that have been held in escrow by the heavenly court until you were ready to steward them with wisdom and humility. The third event is the activation of your true spiritual authority. You have been operating at a fraction of your divine capacity because you believe the lies whispered about your limitations. But I tell you now, the spiritual shackles that have bound your confidence, your creativity, your courage are being shattered in this very moment. The divine DNA that flows through your bloodline is awakening, and with it comes an authority that will cause your enemies to scatter like leaves before a mighty wind. Type Amen to receive blessing number 2222 if you can feel the spiritual atmosphere around you beginning to shift and change. But let me speak to you about the nature of this catastrophic event, for it will not unfold as worldly minds might expect. This is not a physical earthquake or storm. This is a spiritual upheaval that will rearrange the very fabric of your reality. Those who have positioned themselves as gatekeepers to your destiny will find their power structures crumbling. Those who have whispered your name in scorn will find themselves speaking it in reverence. Those who have plotted your downfall will find themselves unexpectedly serving your divine purpose. I have seen this reversal written in the sacred chronicles of heaven. Your name appears in golden letters across multiple scrolls of divine destiny. The angelic council has voted unanimously for your vindication. The court of heaven has ruled in your favor. The sentence of blessing has been pronounced, and no power in hell or earth can overturn what has been decreed from the throne room of the Most High. Even now, as you listen to these words, the angels assigned to your breakthrough are taking their positions. The warring angels are drawing their swords of justice. The ministering spirits are preparing the banquet table of your celebration. The recording angels are preparing to document your victory for all eternity. But here is what you must understand about the catastrophic nature of this event. It will require you to let go of who you thought you were to embrace who you truly are. The version of yourself that has been content with crumbs will be replaced by the version that demands the whole loaf. The part of you that has accepted closed doors will be transformed into the one who carries the master key. The aspect of your soul that has whispered prayers will discover the voice that commands mountains. This transformation will be catastrophic to your old way of thinking, your old way of being, your old way of accepting less than the divine inheritance that bears your name. Some around you will not recognize this new version of you. Some will be uncomfortable with the authority you begin to carry. Some will even try to convince you to return to the smaller version of yourself that they found easier to manage and control, but you will not go back. You cannot go back. The divine fire that is igniting within you in this very moment will make it impossible for you to return to the shadows when you have tasted the light of your true calling. Type Amen to receive blessing. Number 3333. If you feel the old version of yourself beginning to shed like an old garment, now let me reveal to you the specific nature of the betrayal that will be exposed in the next 2 hours. There is someone in your circle, perhaps someone you trusted, perhaps someone you confided in, perhaps someone you defended when others questioned their motives, who has been carrying information about you to others. Not just information, but distorted versions of your struggles, your dreams, your fears. They have been painting pictures of you that bear no resemblance to your true character, creating narratives that justify their betrayal in their own minds. This person has convinced themselves that they are protecting others from you, or protecting you from yourself. They have appointed themselves as the judge of your readiness, your worthiness, your capability. They have been the voice in meetings you were not invited to, discussions you were not part of, decisions that affected your life but were made without your input. But their time as a secret adversary is ending catastrophically. Within the next 2 hours, their own words will become the rope that binds them. Their own schemes will become the pit they fall into. Their own judgments will become the sentence that removes them from their position of influence over your destiny. And here is the beautiful irony of divine justice. The very things they sought to prevent in your life will be accelerated because of their interference. The doors they tried to keep closed will swing wide open. The opportunities they tried to redirect away from you will come directly to your doorstep. The relationships they tried to poison will be healed and strengthened beyond their previous state. You will not need to expose them. You will not need to defend yourself. You will not need to prove your innocence or argue your case. The divine reversal that is coming will speak so loudly that explanations will become unnecessary. Your vindication will be so complete that even your enemies will be forced to acknowledge the hand of the Almighty upon your life. But I must warn you, in the moments when this betrayal is first revealed, you will feel a deep hurt, not just from the betrayal itself, but from the realization of how long it has been going on, how many opportunities it may have cost you, how many sleepless nights you spent wondering what you had done wrong when you had done nothing wrong at all. This hurt is part of your divine preparation. Feel it fully. Allow it to cleanse your heart of any remaining naive trust in human systems and human approval. Let it burn away any residual people-pleasing tendencies that have kept you small and manageable. Use it as fuel for the fire of your true calling that is about to burst into flame. But do not let this hurt turn into bitterness. Do not let this revelation turn into revenge. For what is coming is not vengeance, it is restoration. What is approaching is not payback, it is divine positioning. What is manifesting is not destruction, it is reconstruction of your life according to the original divine blueprint. Type Amen to receive blessing number 4444. If you can feel your heart being prepared for both the pain of truth and the joy of freedom. The second revelation I must share with you concerns the door that is opening. This door has been sealed with 7 divine seals, each one representing a different aspect of your preparation that had to be completed before you were ready to walk through it. These seals have been breaking one by one over the past months, and the 7th seal, the seal of divine timing, is breaking even now as you hear these words. Behind this door is not just a single opportunity, but an entire realm of possibilities that have been waiting for your arrival. There are people in this realm who have been praying for someone exactly like you to appear. There are resources in this realm that have been accumulating interest in the spiritual bank of heaven, waiting for their rightful owner to claim them. There are revelations in this realm that will answer questions you have been asking for years, provide solutions to problems you thought had no solutions, and open pathways you never imagined possible. But this door will only remain open for a specific window of time, not because the divine is impatient, but because the spiritual atmosphere required for this transition has taken years to prepare and will shift again according to the cosmic calendar of heaven. You are entering this door at the precise moment when everything is aligned for your maximum success and minimum resistance. The people who have been blocking your access to this door have been removed from their positions, not through any action of yours, but through the sovereign movement of divine justice. Their removal has been so complete that they will not even realize they have lost their power to hinder you until it is far too late to recover it. The resources that have been tied up in legal battles, financial complications, bureaucratic delays, and interpersonal conflicts are being released simultaneously. What seemed like separate problems with separate solutions are revealing themselves to be facets of a single divine puzzle that is finally clicking into place. The relationships that have been strained, broken, or seemingly impossible to repair are about to experience a supernatural healing that will astound everyone involved. Conversations that have been avoided for months or years will happen naturally and easily. Forgiveness that seemed impossible will flow like water from a spring. Understanding that has been blocked by pride and miscommunication will illuminate minds and hearts like lightning illuminating a dark landscape. This is the catastrophic nature of divine timing. When everything that was stuck begins to move at once, when everything that was broken begins to heal simultaneously, when everything that was delayed begins to manifest in rapid succession. But you must be prepared for the intensity of this acceleration. What you have been praying for gradually will arrive suddenly. What you have been hoping for eventually will appear immediately. What you have been working towards slowly will materialize swiftly. This sudden acceleration will feel overwhelming at first. Your mind will struggle to process the speed of change. Your emotions will fluctuate between joy and anxiety as you adjust to new realities. Your body may even respond with physical symptoms as your nervous system adapts to the higher frequency of your elevated circumstances. Type Amen to receive blessing number 5,555 if you are ready to surrender to the divine acceleration that is beginning to build momentum in your life. The third aspect of this catastrophic event involves the activation of your spiritual authority. For too long, you have been operating like a prince or princess who forgot their royal identity. You have been asking for permission when you should have been issuing declarations. You have been seeking approval when you should have been walking in confidence. You have been waiting for others to recognize your value when you should have been demonstrating your worth through bold action. This spiritual amnesia has been carefully orchestrated by forces that benefit from your diminished sense of self. They have used subtle manipulation, persistent criticism, and strategic withholding of acknowledgement to keep you believing that you are less than you truly are. They have created an environment where your gifts seem ordinary, your insights seem questionable, and your dreams seem unrealistic. But the divine awakening that is occurring will restore your spiritual memory. You will remember who you are in the realm of the Spirit. You will remember the conversations you had with the Almighty before you took physical form. You will remember the mission you agreed to fulfill, the challenges you volunteered to overcome, the impact you committed to making during your time on Earth. This remembering will come in waves over the next 2 hours. The first wave will be a sudden clarity about why certain relationships have been so difficult. You are not meant to be manageable by those who lack your spiritual depth. The second wave will be an understanding of why certain opportunities seem to elude you. You are being prepared for much larger opportunities that required a higher level of spiritual maturity. The third wave will be a recognition of the divine strategy behind every delay, every detour, every disappointment. They were all designed to position you for maximum impact when your true season arrives. As this spiritual authority activates within you, you will notice immediate changes in how others respond to you. People who used to interrupt you will find themselves hanging on your every word. Individuals who used to dismiss your ideas will begin asking for your input. Those who used to question your judgment will start seeking your advice. This is not because you have changed in some superficial way, but because the spiritual frequency you carry has been elevated to match your true divine identity. You are broadcasting a different energy signature, one that resonates with the authority you have always possessed, but have only now learned to access. However, with this activation comes great responsibility. The spiritual authority you are receiving is not for your personal aggrandizement, but for the divine assignments that await you. You will find yourself becoming a bridge between realms, a translator of divine wisdom, a catalyst for breakthrough in the lives of others. Some will approach you seeking healing, and you will discover that your words carry supernatural power to bind up wounds and restore wholeness. Others will come to you with seemingly impossible situations, and you will find that your prayers open doorways that have been sealed for generations. Still others will seek your guidance in their own spiritual journey, and you will realize that your own struggles have equipped you to guide them through similar valleys toward their own mountaintop experiences. Type Amen to receive blessing number 6666 if you can sense the weight of divine responsibility beginning to settle on your shoulders like a royal mantle. But let me speak to you now about the emotional journey you're about to undertake in the next 2 hours and beyond. The revelation of betrayal will initially feel like a punch to your solar plexus. Your mind will race as you mentally review conversations, decisions, and situations in light of this new information. You may feel foolish for not seeing the signs earlier, angry at yourself for trusting when your intuition was sending warning signals. This is normal and necessary. Allow these feelings to surface without judgment. They are part of the divine cleansing process that is preparing your heart for the pure relationships that are coming. You needed to experience the contrast between false loyalty and true allegiance so that you could develop the discernment to distinguish between them in the future. But do not camp in these feelings. They are a way station, not a destination. Your spiritual journey is not ending with this revelation. It is beginning a new and far more glorious chapter. The people who betrayed you were not your real family anyway. They were placeholders, keeping seats warm until your true spiritual tribe could be assembled around you. As the shock of betrayal gives way to the excitement of breakthrough, you will experience a euphoria unlike anything you have felt before. This is not just emotional relief. It is spiritual recognition. Your soul is remembering what it feels like to be aligned with divine will, to be flowing with divine current, to be walking in divine favor. This euphoria may manifest as physical sensations, chills running through your body, warmth spreading through your chest, a tingling in your hands and feet as divine energy begins to circulate through your newly awakened spiritual system. You may experience emotional releases, laughter that bubbles up from deep within, tears of joy that flow without explanation, a lightness in your heart that you thought you had lost forever. Some of you may experience prophetic downloads during this time, sudden insights about your future, vivid dreams that feel more real than reality, spontaneous knowledge about people and situations that you cannot possibly know through natural means. This is your spiritual gift package being activated. These abilities have always been within you, but they have been dormant until this moment of spiritual awakening. Others may experience a sudden increase in synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to happen with impossible frequency, numbers that appear everywhere you look, songs that play at the perfect moment, conversations that address the exact questions you have been pondering. This is the universe reorganizing itself around your elevated spiritual frequency, creating a reality that supports your divine mission rather than hindering it. Still others may notice changes in their physical environment, electronics behaving strangely, lights flickering, animals acting differently in your presence. This is the material world responding to the spiritual transformation occurring within you. Your energy field is expanding and intensifying, affecting everything within your sphere of influence. Type Amen to receive blessing number 7777. If you are experiencing any of these signs of spiritual activation right now I must address the practical implications of this catastrophic event. While the spiritual aspects are profound and life-changing, you will also need to navigate the physical world consequences of your transformation. Relationships that have been built on the foundation of your smaller self will need to be renegotiated or released. Professional situations that have been limiting your potential will need to be upgraded or abandoned. Living arrangements that have been constraining your growth will need to be expanded or exchanged. This practical restructuring will not happen overnight, but it will begin immediately. Within the next 2 hours, you will receive information, invitations, or opportunities that will set these changes in motion. Some will come through digital communication, an unexpected email, a surprising phone call, a social media message that opens an entirely new possibility. Others will come through face-to-face encounters, a conversation with a stranger, a chance meeting with an old friend, an introduction to someone who has been praying for exactly what you have to offer. But here's the key to navigating this transition successfully. You must be willing to release your grip on the familiar in order to embrace the extraordinary. Your mind will want to overcomplicate this process, to analyze every angle, to create backup plans for your backup plans. But this divine breakthrough requires a level of trust that transcends human logic. You will need to make decisions based on spiritual discernment rather than worldly wisdom. You will need to trust the inner knowing that is awakening within you, rather than the external voices that will inevitably offer conflicting advice. You will need to move with divine timing rather than human impatience or human fear. This does not mean being reckless or irresponsible. It means being guided by a higher intelligence than your own, trusting in a master plan that encompasses more variables than your finite mind could ever calculate. It means partnering with the divine rather than trying to figure everything out independently. Some of the opportunities that present themselves in the next 2 hours will seem too good to be true. Your logical mind may immediately begin listing all the reasons why they won't work, all the obstacles that will arise, all the ways you might fail. But remember, this is not a human endeavor you are embarking upon. This is a divine assignment that comes with divine backing, divine provision, and divine guarantee of success. The resources you need will appear as you need them, not necessarily before you need them. The people you need to meet will cross your path at exactly the right moment, not necessarily when you expect them. The skills you need to develop will be downloaded into your consciousness as you require them, not necessarily according to your preferred timeline. This divine choreography will require you to develop a new relationship with uncertainty. Instead of seeing uncertainty as dangerous, you will begin to see it as exciting. Instead of viewing the unknown as threatening, you will start to perceive it as full of infinite possibility. Instead of experiencing change as destabilizing, you will discover it to be energizing. Type Amen to receive blessing. Number 8888 if you are ready to partner with divine intelligence in ways that transcend human understanding. But let me speak to you about the opposition you will face as this catastrophic event unfolds. Not everyone will celebrate your breakthrough. Some who have grown comfortable with your current circumstances will resist your transformation. They may use guilt, fear, or false obligation to try to keep you in familiar patterns. They may question your judgment, challenge your decisions, or predict your failure. This opposition will not come only from obvious enemies, but also from well-meaning friends and family members who genuinely believe they are protecting you from disappointment or disaster. They cannot see what you can see because they have not had the spiritual awakening you are experiencing. They cannot feel what you can feel because they are not tuned to the same divine frequency. They cannot know what you know because they have not been given the same prophetic download. You must be prepared to walk alone for a season if necessary. The divine path is often a lonely path initially, not because the divine abandons you, but because few are called to walk at the spiritual altitude you are being invited to explore. The air is thinner at higher elevations, and not everyone has the spiritual lung capacity to breathe freely in the rarefied atmosphere of divine purpose. But this loneliness is temporary. As you begin to operate in your new spiritual authority, you will attract others who operate at the same frequency. Your spiritual tribe will begin to assemble around you, people who understand your mission, support your vision, and complement your gifts. These relationships will be deeper, more authentic, and more life-giving than anything you have experienced before. Some of these tribe members are already aware of you spiritually, even if you have not met them physically. They have been praying for your breakthrough because they know their own success is connected to yours. They have been sensing your presence in the spiritual realm and looking for you in the physical realm. When you finally connect, the recognition will be instant and profound. Others are being awakened to their own divine purpose simultaneously with your awakening. They too are receiving prophetic downloads, experiencing spiritual activations, and undergoing their own catastrophic transformations. When your paths cross, you will discover that your individual assignments are pieces of a larger divine puzzle that requires all of you working together to complete. Still others have been operating in their spiritual authority for some time and have been waiting for the right moment to welcome you into their circle. They have been watching your development from a distance, cheering for your progress, and preparing to accelerate your growth when you are ready to receive their input. The expansion of your spiritual network will happen rapidly once the process begins. One divine connection will lead to another and another, until you find yourself at the center of a web of relationships that support, strengthen, and amplify your divine mission in ways you never imagined possible. Type Amen to receive blessing, number 9999. If you can feel your heart expanding to embrace the spiritual family that is being assembled around you. As we approach the end of this first wave of prophetic revelation, I want to address the question that is arising in your heart. How do I know this is really happening? How do I distinguish between divine revelation and wishful thinking? How do I trust this process when I have been disappointed so many times before? These are not only valid questions, they are necessary questions. Divine discernment requires both spiritual openness and intellectual honesty. You must be willing to believe in the miraculous while also being grounded in wisdom and practical reality. Here are the signs that will confirm this prophetic word is authentic and unfolding in your life. First, you will experience a deep inner knowing that transcends logic. This knowing will feel different from hope, different from wishful thinking, different from emotional enthusiasm. It will be a steady, unshakable certainty that seems to arise from the core of your being rather than from your mind or emotions. Second, you will begin to notice confirmations in your external environment. Numbers, symbols, conversations, and circumstances will align in ways that seem to validate this prophetic message. These confirmations will be specific to your situation and too numerous to dismiss as coincidence. Third, you will feel a shift in your spiritual atmosphere. The oppressive heaviness that has been weighing on your heart will begin to lift. The confusion that has been clouding your mind will start to clear. The anxiety that has been gripping your spirit will gradually dissolve. Fourth, you will experience an activation of your prophetic and spiritual gifts. Your intuition will become sharper. Your dreams will become more vivid and meaningful. Your ability to discern truth from deception will increase dramatically. Fifth, doors that have been closed will begin to open, seemingly of their own accord. Communications that have been blocked will resume. Relationships that have been strained will begin to heal. Opportunities that have been delayed will start to manifest. These signs will not all appear simultaneously, but they will begin to cascade through your reality over the next 2 hours and continue building momentum over the following days and weeks. Each confirmation will strengthen your faith and prepare you for the next level of divine revelation and manifestation. But remember, this is not about passive waiting. This is about active partnership with the divine. You must be ready to respond when opportunities arise, to step forward when doors open, to speak up when your voice is needed, to take action when the Spirit moves you. The catastrophic event that will change your life forever is not something that will happen to you. It is something that will happen through you as you align with divine will and allow yourself to become a conduit for divine power in the earth. Type Amen to receive blessing number 10,000 if you are ready to become an active partner in your own divine transformation and breakthrough. The next 2 hours are pregnant with possibility. The spiritual realm is stirring with angelic activity on your behalf. The divine council has issued their decree. The heavenly court has rendered their verdict. The celestial timing mechanism has begun its countdown. You stand at the threshold of your new life, your true life, your divinely ordained life. Behind you lies everything you are being asked to release: the small thinking, the limited vision, the fearful approach to your own potential. Before you lies everything you are being invited to embrace: the abundant provision, the divine connections, the supernatural opportunities, the spiritual authority, the prophetic clarity, the unshakable peace, the perfect love, the eternal purpose. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your catastrophic breakthrough from everything that has held you back into everything that propels you forward. The divine is ready. The angels are ready. The universe is ready. The only question that remains is, are you ready? I sense your readiness vibrating through the spiritual atmosphere, beloved one. And now I must reveal to you the deeper mysteries that have been sealed until this appointed hour. The catastrophic event I have described is not merely personal, it is cosmic. You are not simply experiencing an individual breakthrough, you are becoming a catalyst for a divine shift that will ripple through generations yet unborn. Your name has been written in the book of remembrance, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of those who will come after you, those who will benefit from the paths you are about to carve through impossible circumstances. In the heavenly archives, there exists a scroll with 7 seals that bears your spiritual genealogy. This scroll traces your soul's journey not just through this lifetime, but through multiple generations of your bloodline. It reveals how the prayers of your ancestors, the sacrifices of those who came before you, the dreams they carried but could not fulfill in their earthly tenure, all of these have been accumulating in the spiritual realm like compound interest, waiting for the moment when the right descendant would arise to collect the full inheritance. That descendant is you. That moment is now. The betrayals you have experienced, the delays you have endured, The doors that seemed permanently sealed, these were not evidence of divine abandonment. They were divine protection. You were being shielded from breakthrough that would have come too early, before you had developed the spiritual muscle to carry the weight of your true calling. You were being preserved from success that would have occurred before you had gained the wisdom to steward it with humility and grace. But the protection phase is ending. The preparation phase is complete. The manifestation phase is beginning. Type Amen to receive blessing, number 11,111. If you can feel the shift from preparation to manifestation beginning to accelerate in your spirit right now. Within the next 90 minutes, 3 angelic messengers will be dispatched to your physical location. You may not see them with your natural eyes, but you will sense their presence through sudden changes in temperature, unexplained sounds, or an overwhelming sense of peace that seems to descend upon your environment without explanation. These messengers carry scrolls written in the language of heaven, containing specific instructions for the next phase of your divine assignment. The first messenger carries the scroll of divine connections. This scroll contains the names, faces, and meeting circumstances of 7 people who will cross your path in the coming days. These are not casual encounters. They are divine appointments that have been scheduled in the celestial courtroom before the foundation of the world. Each of these 7 individuals carries a piece of your breakthrough puzzle. One carries a key to a door you didn't know existed. Another carries information that will solve a problem you've been wrestling with for months. A third carries an invitation to a table where decisions affecting your future are about to be made. The fourth person on this scroll carries a gift that your heart has been secretly longing for. Not a material gift, but something your soul has been aching to receive. Recognition, perhaps. Validation. Genuine appreciation for the unique way you see the world and contribute to it. The fifth individual brings an opportunity that will seem almost too perfect for your skills and passions. The sixth arrives with a question that only you can answer. A problem that your specific combination of experiences has uniquely equipped you to solve. The seventh person on this scroll is someone from your past who will return to your life in an unexpected way, not to drag you backward, but to acknowledge how far you have come and to offer restitution for past hurts or oversights. This person's reappearance will serve as confirmation that divine justice is indeed unfolding in your life, that what was meant for harm is being transformed into harvest. The second messenger carries the scroll of divine resources. This scroll itemizes the spiritual assets that have been accumulating in your heavenly account while you walk through seasons of apparent lack. Every time you gave when you had little to give, every moment you chose faith when circumstances suggested fear, every instance you blessed others when you yourself felt overlooked, all of these deposits have been earning supernatural interest in the bank of heaven. The withdrawal phase is beginning. The resources that are about to manifest in your life will come from sources you didn't expect, through channels you didn't know existed, in forms you didn't anticipate. Some will arrive as monetary provision that appears at exactly the right moment to fund a dream you thought you couldn't afford. Others will manifest as opportunities that would normally require credentials or connections you don't possess, but doors will open for you based purely on divine favor rather than human qualification. Still others will appear as sudden insights or inspirations that solve financial challenges, creative blocks, or strategic obstacles that have been hindering your progress. Your mind will become a download center for divine solutions, innovative approaches, and breakthrough strategies that seem to come from nowhere, but produce results that can only be explained by supernatural intervention. Type Amen to receive blessing, number 12,222. If you can sense the divine resources beginning to shift in your direction. The third messenger carries the scroll of divine authority. This is perhaps the most significant of the 3 scrolls, for it contains the spiritual legislation that is being passed in the heavenly parliament concerning your sphere of influence. You are being granted authority to bind what has been hindering progress in your family line, your community, your professional environment, and your personal relationships. You are being given power to loose what has been held captive: dreams, resources, relationships, opportunities that have been spiritually imprisoned by forces of opposition. This authority is not theoretical, it is practical and immediate. When you speak with this new level of spiritual authority, things shift in the atmosphere. When you pray with this activated power, circumstances rearrange themselves to accommodate divine will. When you declare truth in this elevated capacity, lies lose their influence and deception loses its power to deceive. But with this authority comes a sobering responsibility. You will begin to realize that your words carry weight in the spiritual realm. Your declarations create reality. Your confessions shape circumstances. Your spoken agreements or disagreements determine what finds access to your life and what is denied entry. You will need to become more intentional about what you say, more careful about what you agree with, more strategic about what you give voice to. Casual complaining will become impossible because you will immediately sense how your negative words create negative atmospheres. Thoughtless agreement with limiting beliefs will become uncomfortable because your spirit will resist partnering with anything that contradicts your divine destiny. This is why the enemy has worked so hard to keep you from discovering your true spiritual authority. Your voice, when fully activated, becomes a threat to every system that profits from keeping people small, confused, and spiritually powerless. Your prayers, when offered from your true identity, move mountains and part seas and silent storms that have been raging for generations. But the enemy's time of influence over your voice is ending catastrophically. The spiritual laryngitis that has kept your true voice muffled is being healed. The intimidation that has kept your prophetic words whispered instead of declared is being broken. The false humility that has disguised your spiritual authority as presumptuousness is being exposed and expelled. In approximately 75 minutes, you will receive what I call a divine audition. An opportunity will present itself for you to speak into a situation that seems beyond your natural expertise or authority. Your mind will immediately generate 100 reasons why you are not qualified to address this matter. Your emotions may produce anxiety about overstepping boundaries or appearing presumptuous, but this is your testing moment. This is when you will discover whether you will step into the spiritual authority that has been granted to you or shrink back into the familiar territory of spiritual timidity. The situation will not be complicated. The words you need to speak will rise from your spirit with clarity and conviction. The wisdom you need to offer will flow from a source deeper than your education or experience. The authority you need to operate in will manifest as a supernatural confidence that you have never felt before. Those who hear you speak in this moment will recognize immediately that something has shifted in your spiritual frequency. They will sense an authority in your voice that commands respect and attention. They will receive your words not merely as opinion or advice, but as prophetic insight that carries the weight of divine backing. This divine audition will serve multiple purposes. It will confirm to you that your spiritual authority is real and operational. It will demonstrate to others that you are operating from a new level of divine backing. It will establish your credibility in realms where your voice will be needed for future assignments. And it will serve as a public declaration that your season of preparation is complete and your season of manifestation has officially begun. Type Amen to receive blessing number 13,333 if you can feel the divine authority beginning to awaken within your vocal cords and throughout your entire being. Now I must address the spiritual warfare that will intensify as your breakthrough accelerates. The forces that have been working to keep you limited and contained will not surrender their influence without a fight. They will launch what appears to be a final assault designed to discourage you from fully stepping into your divine inheritance. This assault will not come as you might expect. Instead of obvious external opposition, it will manifest as internal warfare. Sudden doubts about your worthiness, unexpected anxiety about your ability to handle increased responsibility, strange thoughts that seem to come from nowhere, questioning whether this prophetic word is really from divine source or merely your own wishful thinking projected onto spiritual language. These thoughts are not yours. These doubts are not based in reality. These fears are not prophetic warnings. They are desperate attempts by defeated enemies to create hesitation at the moment when bold action is required. You must recognize this internal assault for what it is and respond with the spiritual authority that is awakening within you. When doubt whispers, "You're not ready for this level of blessing," you must speak aloud, "I am prepared by divine appointment for everything that bears my name." When anxiety suggests, "This is too good to be true and won't last," you must declare, "What divine decree has established, no earthly force can dismantle." When fear tries to convince you, "You don't deserve this kind of breakthrough after your past mistakes," you must announce, "Divine grace has qualified me for purposes that my performance could never earn." These spoken declarations are not positive thinking or self-help affirmations. They are spiritual warfare weapons that enforce the decree that has been issued from the throne room of heaven concerning your destiny. Every time you speak these truths aloud, you are activating the angelic backup that has been assigned to ensure your breakthrough manifests without hindrance. But the enemy's assault will not be limited to internal warfare. There will also be external manifestations designed to create confusion and delay. Technology may malfunction at crucial moments when you are trying to communicate important information or access vital resources. Traffic patterns may seem to conspire against you when you are traveling to significant appointments. Communication breakdowns may occur between you and key individuals just when clarity is most needed. These are not coincidences. They are coordinated attempts to create frustration and make you question whether you are truly in divine timing or merely experiencing a series of unfortunate events. The key to navigating these external hindrances is to recognize them as confirmation that you are on the right track. The enemy only launches intensive warfare against breakthrough that is real and imminent. When these external obstacles arise, do not interpret them as signs that you should slow down or reconsider your direction. Instead, recognize them as evidence that your breakthrough is so significant that desperate measures are being employed to prevent it. Respond with increased prayer, heightened spiritual alertness, and unwavering forward motion. In approximately 60 minutes, you will face what I call the final test. A situation will arise that appears to offer you an easy way out of the discomfort of transformation. It will seem like a reasonable compromise that allows you to avoid the risks associated with stepping fully into your divine destiny. It may come disguised as wisdom, presented as a more prudent course of action, or offered as protection from potential disappointment. This apparent escape route is not divine provision. It is spiritual deception designed to rob you of breakthrough at the last possible moment. No matter how logical this alternative path appears, no matter how many people support this seemingly safer option, no matter how much it appeals to your desire for security and predictability, it is not your divine path. Your divine path requires you to walk through the discomfort of unprecedented territory. It demands that you trust divine guidance over human logic. It insists that you choose faith over fear, breakthrough over safety, divine destiny over human comfort. The final test will be failed by many who come close to breakthrough because they allow rational thinking to override spiritual discernment at the crucial moment. They convince themselves that the compromise option is actually wisdom, that stepping back from the edge of breakthrough is actually maturity, that choosing the familiar struggle over the unfamiliar victory is actually prudence. But you will not fail this test. The divine fire that has been ignited within you through this prophetic download has burned away the parts of you that would choose comfort over calling. The spiritual authority that has been activated within you has given you access to courage that transcends human understanding. The revelation of your true identity has made it impossible for you to settle for anything less than your complete divine inheritance. Type Amen to receive blessing, number 14,444. If you can feel the divine determination overriding every human hesitation within your spirit, let me now reveal to you the specific timeline of manifestation that has been established in the celestial calendar. The breakthrough that begins in the next 45 minutes will unfold in 3 distinct phases, each with its own characteristics and requirements. Phase 1, which begins immediately and extends for the next 7 days, is the recognition phase. During this week, people who have overlooked your potential will begin to see you differently. Conversations that have been surface level will suddenly deepen as others sense the new depth within you. Opportunities that seem permanently out of reach will begin to appear on your horizon as barriers dissolve and pathways clear. You will notice that your very presence seems to affect the atmosphere of rooms you enter. Tensions will ease, creativity will flow more freely, and solutions to long-standing problems will emerge during meetings you attend. This is not your ego creating these effects. It is the divine authority that now flows through your spiritual system, influencing everything within your sphere of contact. During this recognition phase, you must resist the temptation to explain or justify the changes others are noticing in you. Simply allow the transformation to speak for itself. Some will ask direct questions about what has shifted in your life. Others will make comments about a new confidence or clarity they observe. Still others will simply begin treating you with a level of respect and attention that feels unfamiliar but not uncomfortable. Your response should be gracious acceptance rather than detailed explanation. Thank you for noticing is often sufficient acknowledgement. This phase is about allowing your light to shine without feeling compelled to provide commentary on its brightness. Phase 2, which spans days 8 through 21, is the manifestation phase. This is when the spiritual shifts that occurred during phase 1 begin to produce tangible results in your physical circumstances. Doors that cracked open during the recognition phase will swing wide during the manifestation phase. People who showed renewed interest in phase 1 will extend concrete invitations or offers in phase 2. Financial provision that was moving behind the scenes during the first week will arrive in your account during the second and third weeks. Relationships that began healing during phase 1 will experience dramatic restoration during phase 2. Creative projects that found new inspiration in the recognition phase will gain momentum and support during the manifestation phase. But phase 2 will also require increased vigilance against the temptation to take credit for what divine grace is accomplishing through you. The manifestations will be so obviously supernatural in their timing, scope, and coordination that pride will have no legitimate basis for establishing itself in your heart. Yet the enemy will still attempt to inflate your ego as a way of disrupting your continued dependence on divine grace. Remember throughout phase 2 that you are not the source of these blessings. You are the steward of them. You are not the creator of these opportunities. You are the recipient and manager of them. You are not the originator of these solutions. You are the vessel through which divine wisdom is flowing to address needs that extend far beyond your personal circumstances. Phase 3, which begins on day 22 and extends indefinitely, is the multiplication phase. This is when your personal breakthrough becomes a catalyst for breakthrough in the lives of others. The divine authority that has been activated within you will begin to manifest as an ability to speak breakthrough into situations that have seemed hopeless. The spiritual gifts that have been awakened within you will begin to operate consistently to bring healing, deliverance, and transformation to those who cross your path. During phase 3, you will begin to understand the true purpose behind everything you experienced during your preparation seasons. Every hardship you endured gave you compassion for others facing similar challenges. Every door that closed in your face gave you determination to keep knocking until the right door opened. Every betrayal you survived gave you discernment to recognize authentic versus counterfeit relationships. Every delay you waited through gave you patience to trust divine timing, even when circumstances seemed to contradict divine promises. Your personal breakthrough story will become a prophetic word that brings hope to those who are still walking through valleys you have already emerged from. Your testimony will carry supernatural power to activate faith in hearts that have grown weary of believing for their own breakthrough. Your very life will become a demonstration that divine faithfulness is real, divine timing is perfect, and divine promises never fail even when their fulfillment seems impossible. Type Amen to receive blessing number 15,555 if you can see yourself becoming a breakthrough catalyst for others who are walking paths similar to the one you have traveled. In approximately 30 minutes, you will receive the first of 7 prophetic confirmations that will arrive over the next 7 days. These confirmations are not coincidences or subjective interpretations of random events. They are specific, unmistakable signs that have been orchestrated by divine intelligence to provide concrete evidence that this prophetic word is authentic and actively manifesting in your reality. The first confirmation will arrive through digital communication, an unexpected message, email, or notification that directly relates to something I have spoken to you in this prophetic download. The timing will be so precise and the content so relevant that you will have no doubt it was divinely orchestrated to serve as your first sign. The second confirmation will come through a face-to-face conversation within 48 hours. Someone will speak words to you that echo themes from this prophetic message, using phrases or concepts they could not possibly know you had just been hearing about. This person may be a stranger, an acquaintance, or someone you know well, but they will unknowingly become a mouthpiece for divine confirmation. The third confirmation will manifest through your dream life. Within 72 hours, you will have a dream so vivid and meaningful that you will remember every detail upon waking. This dream will contain symbols, scenarios, or conversations that directly relate to your breakthrough in divine calling. Some elements of the dream may seem to be literal previews of coming events, while others will be symbolic representations of spiritual realities. The fourth confirmation will appear through numerical patterns. For the next several days, you will notice certain number sequences appearing with impossible frequency on clocks, receipts, license plates, addresses, phone numbers. These numbers will correspond to the blessing numbers I have been giving you throughout this message, serving as constant reminders that divine intelligence is orchestrating your circumstances. The fifth confirmation will manifest through sudden insights or revelations that provide solutions to problems you have been trying to solve. These solutions will not come through your usual thought processes, but will arrive as spontaneous downloads of information that seem to come from a source beyond your conscious mind. The effectiveness of these insights will prove their supernatural origin. The sixth confirmation will come through the return of someone from your past who will bring news, opportunities, or closure that seemed impossible while they were absent from your life. This person's reappearance will not be random, but will serve a specific purpose in confirming that divine restoration is active in your circumstances. The seventh confirmation will be the most dramatic, a breakthrough or resolution in a situation that you had given up hoping would ever change. This breakthrough will happen in a way that clearly demonstrates divine intervention rather than natural progression. It will be your Red Sea moment, a demonstration of divine power that removes all doubt about the reality of supernatural involvement in your life. These 7 confirmations are being released to you not because divine decree requires your belief to become effective, but because your human heart needs assurance as you navigate the transition from the familiar to the extraordinary. Divine compassion provides confirmation to strengthen faith during seasons of unprecedented change. As you receive each confirmation, do not keep them to yourself. Share them with others who have been praying for your breakthrough, who have been believing for divine intervention in your life, who have been walking alongside you during your seasons of preparation. Their faith will be strengthened by witnessing divine faithfulness in your circumstances, and their strengthened faith will create a spiritual atmosphere that accelerates breakthrough in their own lives. Type Amen to receive blessing number 16,666. If you are ready to become a witness to divine faithfulness that encourages others to believe for their own impossible breakthroughs. Now I must address the enemy's final strategy, which will be deployed in the next 20 minutes as your breakthrough reaches the point of irreversible momentum. Having failed to prevent your transformation through internal warfare, external obstacles, false escape routes, and discouragement tactics, the enemy will attempt one last maneuver designed to minimize the impact of your breakthrough. This final strategy is infiltration rather than opposition. Instead of trying to stop your breakthrough, the enemy will attempt to corrupt it by sending counterfeit connections who will seek to attach themselves to your rising influence. These individuals will present themselves as supporters, collaborators, or fellow believers who want to join forces with what divine grace is accomplishing through you. Some will offer partnerships that seem mutually beneficial, but are actually designed to siphon resources, energy, or credit away from your divine assignment. Others will propose opportunities that appear to accelerate your breakthrough, but actually lead you away from your true calling into pursuits that serve their agenda rather than divine purpose. Still others will simply seek to become part of your inner circle so they can gain access to the divine insights, strategies, and resources that are flowing through your life. These counterfeit connections will be sophisticated in their approach. They will use spiritual language correctly, demonstrate knowledge of biblical principles, and may even operate in legitimate spiritual gifts. They will not appear obviously deceptive or manipulative. In fact, they may seem almost perfect for what you are trying to accomplish, which is precisely why they pose such a significant threat. The key to recognizing these infiltrators is not what they say or do initially, but what you sense in your spirit when you are in their presence. Despite their words and actions appearing supportive, you will feel a subtle drain on your energy when you interact with them. Despite their apparent enthusiasm for your vision, you will sense an underlying agenda that does not align with your pure motives. Despite their seeming qualifications and willingness to help, you will feel an unease that you cannot logically explain. Trust these spiritual warning signals. Your discernment has been sharpened through this prophetic activation, and you now have access to supernatural insight that can perceive hidden motives and concealed agendas. When your spirit sends warning signals about someone, honor those signals regardless of how logical their involvement might seem to your natural mind. The divine connections that are truly meant for your life will produce the opposite effect. In their presence, you will feel energized rather than drained. Their enthusiasm will resonate with something deep in your spirit rather than seeming forced or calculated. Their interest in your vision will feel pure and genuine rather than strategic or opportunistic. But distinguishing between authentic and counterfeit connections will require you to slow down long enough to listen to your inner witness. The excitement of breakthrough may tempt you to move quickly, to say yes to opportunities and partnerships without taking time for prayer and spiritual discernment. This rush to action is exactly what the enemy is counting on to slip counterfeit connections past your spiritual radar. Take time to pray about every significant opportunity, partnership, or relationship that emerges during your breakthrough season. Ask divine intelligence to reveal the true motives and long-term consequences of each connection. Trust the peace or unease that arises in your spirit as you consider each option. Move forward only with those connections that produce divine peace and divine excitement simultaneously. Type Amen to receive blessing number 17,777 if you commit to prioritizing spiritual discernment over human enthusiasm as you navigate the connections that emerge during your breakthrough season. As we enter the final 15 minutes of this 2-hour prophetic window, I want to speak to you about the legacy you're about to begin creating. Your breakthrough is not just about your personal fulfillment or individual success. It is about the mark you will leave on this generation and the inheritance you will pass to the next generation. The divine authority that is being activated within you carries with it the responsibility to use that authority for purposes that extend beyond your personal benefit. You are being positioned to become a spiritual parent to many who are still struggling to believe that breakthrough is possible. Your testimony will become a prophetic word that activates faith in hearts that have grown weary of hoping. Your example will demonstrate that divine promises are not fairy tales, but reliable realities that manifest when divine timing and human cooperation align. Some of the people you will spiritually parent are already in your life, but you have not recognized them because they were waiting for you to step into the spiritual authority necessary to guide them toward their own breakthrough. Others will be drawn to you by the spiritual frequency you now carry, seeking mentorship and guidance from someone who has successfully navigated the transition from preparation to manifestation. Still others will encounter your story through the natural multiplication that occurs when breakthrough testimonies are shared. They may never meet you personally, but your example will provide them with hope and practical wisdom for their own breakthrough journey. This spiritual parenting will not be a burden or obligation that is imposed upon you. It will be a natural overflow of the divine love and wisdom that flows through your activated spiritual gifts. Just as natural parents find joy in seeing their children succeed and develop their own unique potential, you will find fulfillment in watching those you mentor grow into their own divine destinies. But spiritual parenting also requires wisdom, discernment, and healthy boundaries. Not everyone who seeks your input will be ready to receive the level of truth and challenge that spiritual growth requires. Some will want encouragement without correction, blessing without responsibility, breakthrough without transformation. You must learn to distinguish between those who are genuinely hungry for spiritual growth and those who simply want someone to agree with their current choices and comfort their current comfort zones. Your role is not to force anyone into breakthrough they are not ready to receive, but to provide guidance and support for those who are genuinely seeking transformation. Some will be ready for strong meat of spiritual truth, while others can only handle milk-level instruction. Some will be prepared for rapid acceleration, while others need gradual, steady progress. Your job is to meet people where they are, while challenging them to move toward where divine potential is calling them. The legacy you create through your spiritual parenting will extend through generations. Those you mentor will mentor others, who will mentor others, creating a spiritual genealogy that traces back to the divine investment that was made in your breakthrough. The wisdom you share will be passed down through spiritual bloodlines that span far beyond your natural lifetime. The faith you activate in others will activate faith in their spheres of influence, creating ripples of breakthrough that extend far beyond what you can see or imagine. Type Amen to receive blessing number 18,888 if you accept the sacred responsibility of using your breakthrough to catalyst breakthrough in the lives of others. In the final 10 minutes of this prophetic window, the spiritual atmosphere around you is reaching peak intensity. Every angel assigned to your breakthrough is now in position. Every resource that has been allocated for your divine assignment is now available for immediate deployment. Every door that has been scheduled to open is now ready to swing wide at your approach. But this moment also requires from you a level of surrender that may feel uncomfortable to your human nature. You must be willing to release control over how your breakthrough unfolds and trust divine intelligence to orchestrate timing, methods, and outcomes that exceed your human planning and expectations. This surrender is not passive resignation, it is active cooperation with divine will. It means being available for assignments you didn't expect, opportunities you didn't anticipate, and relationships you didn't plan. It means trusting divine guidance even when it leads you through pathways that seem indirect or inefficient to your logical mind. It means believing that divine intelligence can see variables and possibilities that your finite perspective cannot access. The greatest breakthroughs often occur in ways that human planning would never have devised. Divine creativity operates beyond human logic, opening pathways that human strategy would never have considered, connecting dots that human networking would never have linked, solving problems through solutions that human wisdom would never have imagined. Your breakthrough may come through a conversation with a stranger, an unexpected phone call, an email that arrives at the perfect moment, a chance encounter that leads to life-changing opportunity, or a spontaneous idea that appears in your mind during routine activity. The key is to remain spiritually alert and ready to recognize divine opportunity regardless of the package it arrives in. Some of the most significant breakthroughs in history have appeared in the most unlikely circumstances, through the most unexpected people, at the most surprising times. Divine intelligence specializes in using what appears ordinary to produce what is clearly extraordinary. The final 5 minutes of this prophetic window represent your transition from receiver of prophecy to walking fulfillment of prophetic decree. Everything I have spoken to you is now shifting from future possibility to present reality. The spiritual seeds that have been planted through this prophetic download are now beginning to sprout in the soil of your circumstances. You will leave this message as a different person than you were when you began listening. The spiritual frequency you carry has been permanently elevated. The divine authority you possess has been permanently activated. The prophetic insight you can access has been permanently expanded. The breakthrough momentum you are now walking in will continue building until it reaches complete manifestation. But remember, this is not the end of your prophetic journey. This is the beginning. As you begin operating in your new level of spiritual authority and divine favor, you will receive additional prophetic downloads that provide guidance for the specific assignments and opportunities that emerge. Divine intelligence will continue providing exactly the insight you need exactly when you need it. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the divine intelligence that has orchestrated every detail of your breakthrough journey. You are not walking this path alone. You have the full backing of heaven behind every step you take in alignment with divine will. The catastrophic event that will change your life forever is not coming. It has arrived. It is not beginning. It is already in progress. It is not possible. It is inevitable. The divine decree has been issued. The angelic army has been deployed. The breakthrough momentum has reached critical mass. Type Amen to receive blessing number 20,000. If you are ready to step fully into the reality of your transformed life and activated divine calling, your time of waiting is over. Your season of preparation is complete. Your period of testing has ended. Your moment of breakthrough has arrived. You are no longer who you were when this message began. You are now who you were always meant to be. A carrier of divine authority, a catalyst for breakthrough, a demonstration of divine faithfulness, a living testimony that impossible situations are no match for divine intervention. Go forth in the power of your activated spiritual authority. Walk in the confidence of your confirmed divine identity. Operate in the wisdom of your prophetic insight. Live in the joy of your guaranteed breakthrough. The best is not only yet to come, the best is here now, manifesting through you, flowing from you, multiplying around you, and extending beyond you to touch lives and transform circumstances in ways that will echo through eternity. You are breakthrough incarnate. You are divine destiny activated. You are prophetic fulfillment walking in human form. The catastrophic event that will change your life forever is you, the you that you have now become through divine activation and prophetic awakening. This is not the end of your story. This is the end of the chapter titled Preparation and the beginning of the chapter titled Manifestation. Write it well, live it fully, and share it generously, for your breakthrough story will become the prophetic word that activates breakthrough in countless others who are still waiting for their impossible to become inevitable. The divine has spoken. The decree has been issued. The breakthrough has begun. So it is written. So it is declared. So it shall be manifested in your life, through your life, and beyond your life into the lives of generations yet to come. Go now in the supernatural peace that passes understanding, the supernatural joy that needs no external reason, the supernatural love that transforms everything it touches, and the supernatural power that makes all things possible for those who believe. Your breakthrough is not coming. Your breakthrough is here, not tomorrow, not someday, not eventually, right now, in this moment, in your life, through your circumstances, by divine decree and supernatural intervention. And so it is.